What's up, gang? This is X, and in this video I want to talk about Gojo versus Sukuna and why many people in the JJK community misread this fight. Now, a good friend of mine named Mespi, he made a video about how JJK fans cannot read, and I couldn't help but really associate kind of some of the misinterpretations of the Gojo versus Sukuna fight with the lack of appreciation for info dumping and exposition and storytelling that occurred in the Tengen episode. Now, let's just start and talk about the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. While it's true that Gojo is stronger than Sukuna in this fight, they're both at a level where if one person makes a mistake, they're gone. Like, it's not that Gojo is levels ahead of Sukuna, and while Gojo completely owns Sukuna through the domain clashes and takes away Sukuna's domain, legit takes it away, Gojo is still extremely worn down from the domain clashes and also using reverse curse technique to heal himself. And I think the major point that I really want to talk about isn't the domain clashes, because that's pretty straightforward. It's mainly what it has to do with is the 10 shadows technique. And also the fact that Gojo has a history, for example, in his fight with Toji, letting his guard down. I guess you could call it a fight, and also trying to save everyone in the Shibuya incident. Gojo did let his guard down. He got cocky. He thought he could do it all himself, and that obviously led to him being sealed. And versus Toji, that led to him being killed, and had it not been for the reverse curse technique, Gojo would have died there. Or like him learning it right after. Now, considering that we've been shown in the writing of Jujutsu Kaisen that Gojo has a history of trying to take things all on himself, all of the burden, and also he's very cocky and typically lets his guard down due to his unwavering confidence, why would it be so insane for him to lose this fight due to that confidence? And also that paired with Sukuna not only having Malevolent Shrine, an insane domain. I mean, obviously Gojo was able to handle it, but it was, at the beginning of the fight, it was looking dicey, man. Yuta was getting very worried. And you talk about someone like Yuta, who has insane intelligence when it comes to battles. Someone who's basically, Gojo's surpasser, next to Yuji, of course, but Yuta is stronger. More cursed energy, but he takes this 10 shadows technique, and really Sukuna is fighting in such a smart way, while Gojo is really going all in, 100% just balls to the wall, all out attack, trying to kill Sukuna. Sukuna is calculating. I don't know if you guys could tell, but while Sukuna was worried and screaming, the reason he screamed when Gojo was about to take down Maharaga is because he needed Maharaga. He needed Maharaga's adaptation. Every time the wheel turns, there's an adaptation. And we saw even Maharaga giving Gojo some trouble, slashing down his arm and really just adapting a lot. But Gojo just healed himself back real quick and just took down Agito. But what was Agito's purpose in this fight? Obviously 3v1, Agito is a powerful Shikigami, but not really on the same level of Maharaga, right? Well, it's really to stall out and to be able to get that adaptation that Sukuna needs in order to defeat Gojo. And this whole fight, this whole time that this dance is happening, where Gojo is seemingly kicking the crap out of everyone in a 3v1, it looks like Sukuna's losing, but actually Sukuna is gaining a lot of info. Due to Maharaga's adaptation ability, Sukuna he was using some kind of, what was it called? It was this like mind kind of transferring thing with Maharaga so he could get an adaptation. And then Gojo, while he does hit Sukuna with the hollow purple in that amazing sequence where he takes down Agito, he takes down Maharaga, and then all that's left is Sukuna for the hollow purple. Well, the problem was that in those last moments where Sukuna was near death, down and out, Maharaga's adaptation finally completed in the end. After all of that kind of defense, I guess. I mean, when you look at the fight, though, Sukuna was not fully on the defensive for all of it. I'm just saying when he had Maharaga and Agito, there was a part there where he was definitely on the back foot. So to really just write off this fight as some kind of an ass pull that he had the world slash, it's not accurate, because it was written into the fight with the adaptation that Maharaga gave Sukuna after all of that back and forth. I really do see a lot of JJK fans having an emotional reaction due to Gojo being their favorite character. Gojo's my favorite character, but when it comes to fighting, when it comes to my favorites, I like to lead with what I like, but when it comes to actual fights and breaking down what happens and character arcs, I really do like to also include logic as well, because yes, Gojo's my favorite character, but this was a proper ending for his character, all things considered. He's isolated, he's the strongest, and he finally gets to lose to someone who's extremely strong, a worthy challenger. It's very similar to Netero in Hunter x Hunter, except I don't think Netero ever really let his guard down. That man had a plan the whole time. Yeah, so it's, and also just rejoining his friends. That's why I said it was kind of like a win for Gojo, this fight. And he set up his students for success to take down Sukuna. So yeah, really quick video. I just wanted to summarize my thoughts on some of the misconceptions about Gojo versus Sukuna, and talk about why the world slash is not an ass pull just because it happened off panel. I wish it did happen on panel, by the way. Just because it happened off panel does not mean that this was a bad fight. It does not mean that this was just bad. And also, I think Gojo's death was appropriate for the progression of the story and the plot. And when we look at Gojo, while he is the strongest, he's an imperfect character. And he got cocky. I mean, he's always been cocky, man. He didn't get cocky. He's just always been cocky. So, world slash, slicing through Gojo. Sukuna masterfully kind of arrived at this outcome. Call it luck, call it chance, but dude, that 10 Shadows technique is extremely broken. He was super smart in going for Megumi's body. I mean, there's that history of the 6 Eyes user versus a 10 Shadows technique user. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. This is X signing out. Peace.